I'm here today to share with you our current reality. Your health is at risk, our environment is at risk. And while I'm sure most of you would assume I'm referencing to global warming or STDs, I'm actually here to talk about the overwhelming consumption of animal products in the world today. According to statistics from Climate Nexus, animal agriculture is the second largest contributor to human-made greenhouse gas emissions. It is a leading cause of deforestation, pollution, and biodiversity loss. 91% of Amazon rainforest destruction is due to animal agriculture. On the other hand, plant agriculture looks quite different. Living in Texas, I understand how easy it is to become desensitized to just how much land farming takes. In the 3-hour drive from Houston to Austin, at least 2.5 of those hours is just pastures and fields. To put this into scale, livestock agriculture takes up 1/3 of the planet's inhabitable land. I found this incredible since 1.5 acres of farmland can produce up to 37,000 pounds of plant-based food, while the same amount of land can only produce 375 pounds of beef. Despite popular understanding, a plant-based or vegan diet isn't just better for animals. A plant-based planet has the potential to save all of us and countless generations to come. It's safe to assume most of us have already heard the ethical argument for veganism. Instead, I'd like to focus your attention to the economic, environmental, and wellness advantages. Let's start off with the biggest motivator for most people: money. As most adults know, grocery shopping is all fun and games until you get to checkout. Growing up in a 6-person household myself, I found it crazy that we could buy enough rice and beans to feed us for an entire week for less than the cost of one dinner's worth of ground meat and a tube. And while the proposed alternative is not a balanced meal, it's still remarkable. If nutrient-rich foods like beans, tofu, and zucchini run for less than $2 a pound, while meat can be anywhere from $4 to $22 a pound, it begs the question, why are we buying it? My father would quote the Bible and say, man cannot live on bread alone. However, we can most definitely live off of the produce section. Like anything, you can make veganism expensive by adding spirulina to a dragon fruit smoothie. But overall, it is so much more affordable. Depending on how open-minded your city is, it'll also force you to cook from home a lot. These benefits aren't limited to saving you money though. They can also save our environment. In spite of increasingly global animal farming model of confining animals to small spaces, livestock alone uses 30% of the Earth's land. Now let's say we pasture-raised the 100 million cows in the United States, which would be considered the humane alternative. According to animal rights journalist Ashley Capps, cattle would take up 1/2 of the United States. This excludes the land we would need in order to raise every other farm animal. Furthermore, another advocate for veganism, Dr. Sarah Mann, argued in her dissertation that veganism can feed more people. Theoretically, if factory farming was reduced and animal farming was no longer if farm animals were no longer intensely bred, the food sources used to feed livestock could feed us. This model has the potential to end world hunger. Instead, it's used to grow enormous amounts of genetically modified corn, soy, and grain. Additionally, the impact on the air we breathe is less significant with a vegan diet. Livestock emit toxic gases into the air as a direct result of what they're being fed, specifically corn-based meal, increasing the amount of toxic gases they release into the air. Even deforestation is occurring on a larger scale to meet the space needs for animal agriculture. However, a plant-based lifestyle isn't only healthier for the environment, it's also healthier for you. Inevitably, a vegan diet forces you to find alternative sources of food, such as fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. With proper planning, B12 supplements, and the avoidance of fast food vegan options, it provides a dramatic increase in nutrients compared to the typical Western diet. Still, the health benefits go beyond daily upkeep. According to experts at the American Cancer Society, processed meats such as bacon, ham, and hot dogs contain carcinogens, which research has directly linked to causing cancer. In one study, they found that only 50 grams of processed meat a day can increase your risk of getting colon cancer by 18%. Now, 50 grams may sound like a lot in metric terms, but it's only 1.6 ounces. That's half of a hot dog. The danger is not just in processed meats though, it's in red meats as well. An article issued by Harvard Health Publishing explains how the standard American diet of meat and potatoes doesn't make the grade of healthy. Despite that, 72% of Americans still base their meals around plant protein and products. Even something as small as limiting your daily intake of limiting your daily meat consumption, especially processed and red meats, significantly lowers your chances of battling specific cancers, heart disease, and obesity, just to name a few. And the reality of all of this information is simple. No one has to die. Veganism obviously spares animals, but it also saves your wallets, planet, and physical health. While an entirely plant-based diet may not be feasible for people with limited resources or circumstances, every small effort helps. Most people can manage the occasional meatless dinner or volunteering at their local community garden. Most developed cities have farmers markets where you can support local growers. There are countless ways to be a hero to the city you live in, there are countless ways to be a hero to the planet you live on. But a vegan diet seems to be one of the simplest and most effective plans. Thank you for your time.